actually a new series on PBS. I was filming it in Belize, and while we were there, I happened to be with the guy who was the Belizean fixer for Bear Grylls' show that he did in Belize. It was his son that built the raft that Bear used, and when Bear turns to the camera saying he's eating this snake that he caught, it is actually Kentucky Fried Chicken he's eating.
Oh, God.
He's
eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh, come on. Hold on. How
shout out to PBS. My wife works for PBS, so good luck with the new show, man. That's awesome.
Well, on PBS, I got Wild Harvest, which is a local foraging. Again, I'm just teaching again, right? Teaching wild edible plants, right?
Yeah, it's real
I got
stuff.
Surviving Disasters, which is a pledge special at the moment, which is really helpful for all the disasters going on. And I've got my film called La Loche, which is about actually a documentary about a school shooting and a canoe trip up in Canada. So I'm still very active, that's for sure.
That's a tough pill to swallow for, I think, anybody who wants to be in entertainment when you've tried really hard to do things what you've been told is the correct way to do it, right? And you take a lot of pride and effort in your process and your workflow. But then you see somebody who maybe doesn't care as much, because we talk about that in here about like, hey, when we do this segment, everybody just kind of chill out and just don't care, because it puts you in a better mind space.
Yes,
it actually makes you funnier, makes you more comfortable, makes your show a little more relatable. It's easier going. You're not hearing any like little bumps or any things that are floating in your mind.
And maybe it's the same thing, like we wanted to do something different than what we saw the generation above us do in radio. Yeah. And we wanted to do it our own way and then our own style, and that's the way we did it. But it all came with a point to it, and like I watch Impulsive and I see Logan Paul or whatever, and he's slouched down on the couch. And
that's his brand.
And that's his brand. That's what he's doing. But then dumb old man. I was like, put some effort into it.
Yeah,
like,
unfortunately, you and I.
Ask your guest
Pull up
something.
your pants, boy.
I'm like,
I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it, and what's it seems weird and scary to me. It'll happen to you.
Yeah,
that's like
what
you
I
care.
was gonna say. Yeah.
But now I understand exactly opposite, and like everything I'm saying is hypocritical in one aspect or another, because we're at one point we're like we can't care too much because that's how you better.
But
content.
we're also putting on a show, and I know that you and I come from the greatest showman school of performance, where it's like just put some GD effort into it. Act like you want to be there. No, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Act like you want to be there,
and ask some more interesting questions, because like you're interviewing the Island Boys. There's a lot more interesting questions that you're arguing about whether diamonds are real, then they store them off.
You know what I really want to know about
like,
Island Boys is like, when did you start your transition into the tattoos and the hair, and like what did you look like when you were like 16 and 17? Were you anywhere near these like personas of these?
I think like one teardrop and then they have little
like
dreads.
how did you become human broccoli? Like how did that happen? That's interesting to me. So how's your mom? What's she look like?
Now, I only saw a tiny clip on TikTok. The whole interview may be better. It was one of those instances that I'm doing what people did to me, and then
now hold on a second.
That's what happens,
I think it makes you not dumb old man though to vocalize that you are aware of dumb old man tendencies. You're doing the opposite of what true dumb old man would literally just get on here and say they're doing it wrong and never address the fact that you are conflicted by that feeling.
yeah.
So you're not a dumb old man.
Okay.
And so Bette Midler decided to step in and chime in on it on Twitter. And so what she tweeted out, Joe Manchin, who represents a population smaller than Brooklyn, has done to the rest of America, who wants to move forward, not backward, like his state, is horrible. He sold us out. He wants us all to be just like his state, West Virginia, poor, illiterate, and strung out.
Damn, Bet. You can't say that, Bet.
Meanwhile, like sideswipes the whole fucking state with his tweet,
That's
right?
fucked up.
So she
is right about Joe Manchin, but
of course, Twitter fucking falls onto her. She apologizes to the people of West Virginia, but that wasn't good enough for Jim Justice. Jim Justice, governor of West Virginia.
Is that his real name? Because that's dope.
I don't know if it's a lot of these guys go middle name, or like Buddy or whatever.
Jim Justice.
He's cited here as Governor Jim Justice.
Yeah, peacemaker.
He said, too many people doubted us. They never believed in West Virginia. They told every bad joke in the world about us. And then he said, Bette Midler and all you haters, you can kiss my dog's hiney. And then he picked up his dog and showed the hiney.
I support all of this fight between Bette Midler and the Heine kissing. I support all of it. This is great.
It's just a bunch of dumb old people
launching social media bombs.
He looks like the mayor of Halloween Town.
Like, who the fuck cares?
Like, exactly.
Sam, do you have the picture of him holding the dog's ass up to, like, the gathered representatives of West Virginia? It's almost good enough for a tattoo, Dan. You might want it, like, on your lower
Kiss
abdomen.
my dog's honey. You know
he
what?
named his dog Baby Dog.
You kiss my baby dog's honey, Bette Midler.
So follow me here. Is this what we've like basically turned into?
Yeah, we're a joke.
So well, I'm saying someone makes a comment on social media that's famous, right?
Right.
And then a bunch of people, whatever that comment is, a bunch of people comment on that comment and either get enraged or whatever. But no one really cares that much, right?
No.
So then politicians or wherever people in charge read and see all this stuff, and then they feel they have to react because they're like, this is how the people feel. But they're not realizing that the people that are even making the comments don't even care that much.
Care.
It's all nothing. Like they're not.
I think that's fairly accurate.
They're just talking shit. Bette Midler's talking shit. They're like, "Oh, fuck you, Bette Midler." And then the politician's like, "Well, I gotta have to." No,
I need a response to this.
No one cares, right?
No one cares.
You're listening to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan.
Thank you for downloading.
Oh yeah, because girls just love our dirty fingers. Let me just tell you, if there's ever something that girls think is sexual, girls look at fingers all the time. They're like, oh, look at those. Oh God, did you check out that guy's fingers? I have a theory that that's not supposed to happen. We might think that's cool, like the whole fingering deal. We might think that's hot and sexy.
No girls like that.
No girls like that. How would you like that? Would you like a finger?
No.
Anywhere. And I don't even like a finger in my eye. I don't like a finger in my mouth. What makes us think that a finger is good?
Well, when you're a kid, it's the least scary thing to do. You're like, well, let's see what's in there.
Well, that's what you do when things are dangerous and you have no idea what it is. Yeah. You know, like if you see a knothole in the side of a tree that has that you think are either bees or a squirrel or there might be a swordfish in there. Who knows?
Yeah.
What do you do? You stick your finger in there.
Exactly. Or I'll give you another analogy.
Do I want to hear this?
In the movie Stargate, when the crazy when the crazy water warp hole comes up, like when the wormhole forms, you're not going to go stick your dick in it to see what's on the other side. The first thing you're going to do is finger it.
Because your finger,
it's the man's
testing dick.
Yeah, exactly.
It's your testing dick.
Because after the finger, soon is going to come the dick.
Yeah, because that's the only thing we're good at.
Exactly.
The finger is the testing dick.
Yeah. Or your tongue.
No,
okay.
Tongue is too far.
Now, I'll explain to you another analogy.
Tongue is too far.
The first time...
This went really vulgar fast. I just want to point that out.
No, I'll explain to you another analogy while it's first the finger, tongue, and dick.
Oh, God.
Now, if you get an oscillating fan... I had an oscillating fan in my room when I was a kid. Now, if you ever take the shield off an oscillating fan, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's spinning super 1,000 RPMs, like... Eh. Now, the first thing to do is to test it with your finger, right?
Fingers first.
Finger. Now, the second, if you have balls... You always go tongue. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Dick is always last.
Let's see if I can stop this with my tongue. You know what I'm saying? And then at one point,
so that's the way it goes. It's FTD.
Finger, tongue, dick.
At the point where you stuck your tip in, right? You might as well just say, yes, I've had sex with this girl.
What
can you actually claim that I didn't have sex? Just
how much of the tip is what I'm saying.
No, I think
for a lot of guys, the tip is it.
Once your pee-pee hole touches it's over.
No, not in Nuru.
Yeah, Nuru.
No, in Nuru, if she straddles it and rides it like a monkey riding a football...
Then that doesn't count?
Yeah, that doesn't count.
That's just a massage.
Yeah, that's just, parting it. Looks like an old man brushing his teeth with a banana. We need to go to break again, don't we?
Oh, I poofed my roids. I laughed too much.
Classy and elegant.
If you're injured on the go,
just call Mo.com.
His name is Mo.
He was dressed like a ventriloquist dummy, and he had
he had the lines.
Yeah, the lines.
That's terrifying.
And
oh
that
my
is kind of
God.
scary.
But he was just sitting on the bench, frozen, doing his frozen thing, and then everybody's walking by, and I'm like, man, he's really frozen. Like, he's not even moving at all.
He's dumb as really frozen. You're an idiot, man. You tell stories. And I'm this close to quitting the show. It's got no point. It's just got no point where I can't take it.
Dude, that's a skill to stand frozen like that. None of us could do it. Like, I mean, this guy was frozen.
I'm telling you, this guy looks like he'd been shot with a freeze ray. All right, I'm back in. I love the show again. It's so funny. It's just so funny.
No one cared. Oh, it was packed. Oh, it was
It
packed.
was packed. I went a couple weeks ago.
The easiest way to not get corona is to sit still on a bench.
No, he just sat there, and I wanted to bring my sons over to look, but then I was afraid that you gotta. If you look at them too long, you gotta tip them.
No, that's not the rule.
You don't have to.
That's not the rule.
Well, if you're not a cheapo.
Yeah. Because
no. If it's a singer-songwriter, if the guy's out there playing songs and
But
you
if
sit
he's
and
just
listen to
sitting
him, if the guy's just sitting
no,
there,
but that's his performance.
No,
I don't care.
Then what? Do I have to turn my back to him if I just happen to be catching some shade?
No.
I'm not doing
can't
that.
look in his
No,
direction.
You and I disagree. Maybe I'm grumpier than you because I'm not paying for you just to sit there and act like a doll. I'm not paying a doll.
But
No.
that's his entertainment. And then you tip him, and then he'll move to show that he's not really a doll.
That's money. Money well spent.
That's how I
Not a
understand
real doll. So there's something wrong over there, but I started, of course I'm touching with my tongue obsessively. And me and the dentist is a BDM, he's laughing. And he's like, you did this. and I'm like, I know. And
you literally rubbed it into the bone.
I rubbed my gums off my jawbone to exposed bone.
That's anxiety crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I told you. I mean, it's just been...
Most people grind their teeth. You licked your gums off.
I licked my fucking gums off. I'm the gum licker.
That is bad.
I am little...
Danny Gumlicker.
No, I'm little. I want to be little Gary Gumlicker.
Gary.
All right, we gotta change
Gary
it.
sounds better.
With the gums.
Mediocre Time with Tom and Gary.
Yeah, so the show from now on will be a mediocre time with Tom and Gary Gumlicker.
No, it's too much like Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Gary. Cartoon mouse, tiny cartoon mouse. I'll start dressing like a cartoon mouse.
All right,
I'll start jumping things. You can be my coach.
Well, speaking of being obsessed,
They didn't give me pain pills at all.
I know. I was mad about that.
But they did give me antibiotic mouthwash. They're like, use this, and then I have to go to another doctor on Thursday, like an oral surgeon, and they're like, use this mouthwash now. Use it 2 to 3 times a day. It will turn your tongue jet black. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Like a giraffe tongue?
Yeah, get a giraffe tongue or a chow chow dog tongue.
That's a weird side effect.
Get out of here, Tom and Dad. Nobody's
If
interested.
you've got a roof
What?
issue or need
Shut up. All right. Hope you guys had a good lunch. Do you have the details of that story? That's pretty wild. Let me pull up the picture.
So we do this for Tuesday 4.
So we need 20.
11 days they were on this. I'm telling you right now, dude, that water is going up and down. I don't believe this story.
We'll talk about it. Yeah. It seems like.
Okay, check. Hey. Why don't you give me... Okay, there we go. All right, I can start. Does it say coming back?
Yes. Tuesday 4.
Okay, I'll bring us back. Here we go. 3, 2... Oh, hold on. This thing started recording in a funky spot. Okay, 3, 2... Welcome back to A Corporate Time. I'm getting to the point where I don't really believe any news story I see, which I feel like is dangerous. And I've never really been this type of person, in a day and age when, just a couple of years ago, the term fake news is in our lexicon. It's part of our vocabulary.
Yeah.
I mean, so we all know the feeling of it. But there's a news story out that I saw this morning, and it seems like we're going through a patch of. I think the news has trends, and one of the cool, terrifying news trends right now is person cast away out in the middle of the ocean, left for dead. That is a category of news story. We had the gentleman fell off cruise ship. We saw the night vision camera of the Coast Guard rescuing him. We saw the helicopter come down. I still contend that they can scoop him out of the water with a boat or a Zodiac. I still contend that they don't need to use the helicopter.
Well, it takes longer with the boat.
Doesn't matter. This is my theory. You're using the helicopter just because you want to use the helicopter. It's cost way more money. Your bosses are probably like, whatever you do, don't use the goddamn helicopter. Use the Zodiac. You never use the Zodiac. Use the helicopter because helicopters are cooler. Anyway, I digress. News story today, and this is from a reputable, there's two sources I typically go to, AP and Reuters, because normally they're well respected. Normally the details you're getting out of Reuters is...
Not my sources.
Oh, I know. This is Newsmax Tom. So on Reuters, there's a news story. I'll see if I can put this up for everybody that says, stowaways on tanker from Nigeria set for deportation from Spain. And there's a picture of the boat. It says 3 stowaways migrants seen on the rudder blades of a petrol vessel. And they talk about how these guys are on this rudder of this boat, and there's the picture of it. I'll make it real big so everybody can see it on Twitch.
The people that are not watching on Twitch,
describe it for them, because you're known for your imaginative and descriptive explanations of things.
Imagine an oil tanker ship, right? People can envision that.
Yeah.
And in the back of the ship, there's a massive rudder that goes down in front of the propeller that steers the ship.
Correct.
But it comes out of the water and is kind of connected to the bottom of the ship, but above the water line, right? And these people are sitting on top. Like, imagine the rudder so humongous that there's actually a shelf on it that, before it connects to the actual bottom of the ship, and they're just sitting on the shelf of the rudder.
Yeah, with their legs hanging off like they're just sitting on a park bench. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you right now, I don't believe this, because you mean to tell me they were sailing through the ocean, the swells and the up and down motion of the ocean, not the one you're thinking now. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. That's poor phrasing. But, you're going through, there's massive swells that are, I've been on cruise ships, and the water on the cruise ship always going up and down.
Yeah. The bottom portholes, you could see it actually will go underwater, then come back.
Yeah.
So
you mean to tell me that these guys were able to just sit there like they're sitting on a park bench all the way from, wherever to Nigeria? From Nigeria to the Canary Islands?
Right. Apparently this happens all the time.
Yeah, but how do they do it? That's the thing. How do they do it without, or do they fall off?
A lot of them die.
Oh, this is sad now. Oh, tragic.
Now, have you ever been out to the ocean, in the middle of the ocean, not even, can't see land?
Only once.
It has been still as a lake? Because
not in a cruise ship.
I've done this when I was a kid, and my dad used to go, offshore fishing all the time and go to the Bahamas from Miami or whatever.
Yeah.
And we'd be in the middle of the ocean on a 30-foot center console fishing boat, right? And not that big. And you couldn't see land anywhere, right? And it was as flat, as glass flat as the calmest lake you've seen, right? Like a retention pond over here, like that glassy. Wow. And we were, I think, we used to jump out and swim when we were kids, and my dad would be like, we're there's 1,200 feet deep or something. It's insanely deep. You couldn't see land, and it's flat. So that does happen every once in a while, and you'll see sailboats and people that like go transatlantic and like go far.
Yeah.
And every once in a while there'll be a flat sea. And because in our mind, I think we all think of once you go on beyond, like you can't see land anymore, it's always rough out there. But sometimes it is flat. So maybe they time it where they know at certain times of year
I just think
it's flat.
desperation, man. It's,
it's absolutely desperation.
I don't think they're timing it out to the tides or anything.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely desperation.
Because if a wave does knock you off, you're going to get sucked into the propeller of that gigantic oil freighter and be killed, no problem.
I mean,
so they may be beneficial to time it out where you go where it could be calm. Right?
Okay, there
they
are
must
probably
know.
some people that think about that. You know, there are different organizations that help to get people out of bad situations or bad countries or things like that. And yes, they do a lot of planning and a lot of timing in order to do this. There could be an element of people doing that here. I'm taking it purely on a very simple, you know, I don't really want to get into the humanitarian sadness of these people trying to get away from
is it possible?
Yeah, I look at this and I go like, there's no way in hell that you can sit, like I'm saying the way that they're sitting in this picture. Okay? Do they have to stand and hold on to something and then as the waves batter them, they hold on? There's got to be some of that, right?
Maybe the waves, like I said, in the where they're traveling because there's there's an ocean there. Remember where like pirates used to, where they got
pirates, yes, they're right.
Right,
so die to the merchant ships.
When they go through a certain strait, the I think Nigerian pirates or whatever, like the damn movie was made about it with Tom Hanks. I'm the captain. Somalian pirates.
Catch me if you can.
And that's all the
Toy Story 3.
90s.
Somalia, Nigeria. It's all around there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, maybe that particular ocean is less violent during certain parts of the year.
I like the way you're thinking.
And then they know, because you're right, 100%. If there was any sort of big waves, you're getting knocked off of that and being
it's just
killed
terrifying
instantly.
to me. The whole point of this was not to look at this how desperate. It's really the point of this is to look at, like, when I look at that, I go, oh my God, much like that guy that was, at sea for 15 hours alone with no flotation device. That is terrifying to me. Absolutely terrifying.
Well, it goes
quite
to show you,
but this is still very terrifying.
Yeah. It's like if you're willing to sit on the back of that rudder and take your chances, then
you're probably what if
you
they do a hard
you got
turn?
a rough go.
What if they do a hard turn? You're like no. Right? If they go to the left, if they're like we got to turn this thing around, or they're trying to back, no, they're turning. Do you have to jump off? Can you jump off without getting sucked underneath it? That's what I'm talking about.
I can't imagine that you wouldn't get sucked underneath.
Yeah,
something that big.
It's humongous.
The amount of, I remember when as a kid, I used to jump off the South Beach Pier, and then when the cruise ships came by,
party animal.
They
called him the Spuds McKenzie of Kendall.
It would like the current. It would create a current and like pull you in the direction of the cruise ship, and they were far. Like it was through government cut, but they were still like 2 football fields away, and then or a football field away, and it would pull. The current would pull you. So if you were close. I've always heard that it would pull you underneath because the propeller is so gigantic.
It's
moving so much water.
I mean, put this on this list of people that we eventually want to talk to, Sam, but I would like to talk to an actual ship builder or captain who can tell us, if you fall off, these guys are people that fall off the boat on the back of the boat. It has always been my assumption as a trashy white cruising boy that if you fell off the back of the cruise ship, that you'd be like, and then you'd be sucked under just from the sheer force of this hotel powering through the water. You have no choice but you just succumb to the current. Now, goodbye world.
Hold on. If you fell off the back of it, it may not suck you under because the propeller's pushing water, right? So I've always heard, like, if you fall off a cruise ship or whatever, swim away from it, because if you're next to it, once you get near the back,
next to it's not where you want to
be. Then because the propeller is moving water, essentially sucking water and propelling it backwards to move the ship. So I think the water that's getting sucked in, that's where you get sucked in. If you fall off the back, it's not going to suck you in through the front. You know, like you got to fall off in front of it for it to suck you in. So I think you may be safer
in the back than in the front.
I think so.
Oh my God!
I have no idea.
Just like Italian girls, safer in the back than the front. At least they were in like Catholic school or something. Only in the back.
The sheer size of like these oil tankers and like the freighter ships.
We like oil.
It's gigantic. It's insane.
Are there any massive cruise ships that are jet powered?
Not jet powered.
Are there any like water jet
boats?
Like there are no massive ships all massive ships that are sailing right now, none of them use new technology. Every single one of them are powered.
They're gigantic diesel
and
motors.
There's no solar powered, electric powered.
No.
Nobody's trying that. There's not one cruise line that does it.
Odd.
Like you
I
mean
think
to tell
it
me
just needs so
the
much.
Don't the Dutch? They're still the ship kings, right? The shipbuilders. You mean to tell me there's not some Swede with some Dutch and they get together and they're like, yo, we got to make this a little better than these, because their carbon footprints, I mean, horrible.
I think they're so big that there's no amount of alternative energy that
the military is actually working on this.
The military? I'm talking about
Navy.
Carnival. I need a party boat.
Well, that's why they go nuclear.
Oh,
that's why
the military got that money, though.
Yeah, but a nuclear, it is conceivable to me that some company, we have brokered with the U.S. military to provide a nuclear Carnival cruise line. Carnival
Do you think
presents,
anybody would want to get on?
I would.
The problem is that
totally. It's cleaner than diesel.
Yeah. The problem is no one's certified for any of this, so we're gonna have a
it's
horrible.
It's registered in Liberia.
We're gonna have a horrible tragedy of global proportions if you have a nuclear cruise ship that starts melting down in some way.
It'll be fine. Totally fine.
Like
it's in a case.
The
rods are in a case.
They do it with all the gigantic Navy ships. You know, they're all nuclear powered and submarines and stuff.
I'm just surprised we don't have some sort of, battery cells. It'd be massive. You'd need. I don't think you can make the batteries big enough, could you? You couldn't do it.
One nuclear plutonium rod.
Right. But
that's why they use
guard it. And then you got some pirates on the boat trying to steal your boat.
Well, I think you got to constantly keep it cool, or
or a Slurpee on it.
There's a lot of problems. But I think if you got it under control, it's safe. It's just you
got to keep it under control.
It's
kind of like my boner. It's like once it's under control, we're all safe. But if it's out of control, like nobody wants to be around that. You want to
let's do some voicemail.
All right, voicemails. It is. If you'd like to leave us a voicemail, 1-844-TOMNDAN show@tomanddan.com for emails, and then you can use our app and just hold down the little button that says mediocre messages. And you can leave a message like this one.
Tom, Dan, Sam, BDM Mike. Hey, shout out to that manic messaging listener. I feel you, my man. I sometimes feel like I'm talking into the void sending these messages through the BDM app or Tom and Dan app. And sending those, it feels good. It's like your own personal Twitter where no one except for Tom, Dan, or Sam, or whoever's on the show will reply, and you feel good. Anyways, a little bit sick, but still, BDM for life, whatever, we all got of it.
Hello.
But, BDM for life, love you guys. Bye.
Hi, BDM for life. Hello.
He turned into a cartoon character.
Hey, I'm turning into a cartoon goose. Hello.
Also, was there a reason for that voice message?
I think he was sticking up for the guy that sent the 500 emails. The cow.
Oh,
Speaking of which, we should probably dip into a few of those, Sam, if you don't mind. Yeah, grabbing a few. I'm running low on voicemails. But yeah, remember the guy that sent me 25 different emails, and they were all good. But it was just man, we can't read all of these in one session. It was he was listening to our Friday Free Show, and then every 5 minutes he'd stop the show and then send a new topic, and it was actually good. But it's just a lot.
Well, anytime you get over 3 emails in a row from one person in sub 5 minutes, you realize they're going through a problem.
I did it to you.
Text messages, yeah.
I did it to him accidentally last week.
And you're having a problem.
Yeah, but I didn't want you to think I was having a problem because I really wasn't.
Oh,
remember the reply? I wasn't. It was about the lights in here, and then I emailed you, and then I forgot that I emailed you because I got high.
Yeah.
And then I emailed you again immediately, and I was like, I think you already sent an email, and I went back in my sent, and I saw 2, and I'm like, he's gonna think you're having a problem.
Oh, yeah. 2 emails in a row. I'm like, having a problem.
He's having a problem. Look at him. This guy, he's freaking out. I wasn't, though. I just forgot. And that made me really sad because I was like, dude, if you can't remember you emailed somebody 30 seconds later, you forgot you emailed somebody, you got to email them again. And I sent him a whole separate email, Sam. It was completely different.
Yeah. Because you're having a problem. I don't know what else to tell you.
I mean, the evidence is here.
I just got high.
The proof, it's the your actions.
Could you not remember the phrase, the proof is in the pudding? Because he was like, the proof is in the, you're having a problem.
Oh, he turned into a robot.
Well, you were having a problem just now.
Where'd that come from? The proof is in the pudding.
I don't know. I'll look that up in a second. But somebody in the chat was asking if we saw the news about the volcano that's erupting in Hawaii.
Yeah, breaking news.
Is that on the same island where you were?
Yeah,
the big island.
Although
you guys started it, you went down that tunnel.
No,
Cursed.
It turns out the Dog the Bounty Hunter just lit a cigarette near their version of the senator, and he burned it down. So that was all the.
So I wasn't even aware. It's funny because when Daniel sent me the story, I was like,
who sent me this? Who is this?
I was like, this guy's having a problem. I was like, wait a minute, this is not the name of the volcano that we went and saw the lava in, and that was Mount Kilauea. And then, as far as obviously, Crystal did some research before we went.
Why don't you do any?
She does it. What am I
going
to do? I Google
I
it.
do the
I'm
same
like,
thing too. Andrea's like, we're going to Smoky Rock Mountain Train. I'm like, that's fine.
I'm like, I've Googled 5 things to do in Hawaii. But so when we were there, I would the boys. We saw the volcano and the lava and whatever. And apparently it was the only volcano that was active at the time and that had lava showing in the entire Hawaii.
Not now. There's a new volcano.
Or in this island or whatever. I think it's the only. I think the Big Island's the only island with active volcanoes, but I'm not sure. It's one of the youngest geological islands. Anyway. So then I saw this story, and it made me laugh because I told the boys
their island is ruined.
No, because I told the boys that they were getting nervous about. They're like, oh, can this erupt? They're thinking volcanoes. I'm like, no. The scientists know exactly when to the day.
He did say this.
You know,
he did say this to me. This is what he told his sons. He's like, they have this down to a nanosecond.
And I'm like,
wait a minute. When did you go?
Middle October, October.
My wife said you brought home
sand. There was
an
earthquake in middle October that they thought shook this whole volcano up.
My wife said it was because you brought sand back and you're just lying about it.
I believe it.
So my question is,
the proof's in the oofos.
Yeah, having a problem. You got sands in your roofs, dude. You got sandy roofs.
Did they know this was going to erupt? They had to.
I think they knew that there was probably a possibility, but I don't think they can know how severe, how crazy.
I thought they had it down to the days. They know this thing is about to erupt in days. I thought it was that close.
I've never heard that, but this does make me happy for hurricanes.
Scientists have been keeping an eye on it over the past few months when the world's largest active volcano began showing signs of increased seismic activity.
Hold on, Sam. That's what people that don't know what the F they're doing say. They say, and my dad used to do this all the time. He'd be like, Dad, don't worry, I'll keep an eye on it. When you say you're keeping an eye on it, it means you have no idea.
The pictures are crazy because, at night, it's like when we went and saw in Kilauea, when you're walking towards...
It's a killer whale.
You know that the earthquake happened the day you left Hawaii?
Really?
Oh, my God. That's a big poo-poo.
They probably happen all the time.
Where's the sand, Tom?
Yeah, you got the sand.
Where's
sand
the rocks? Where's the sand?
What'd you do? You got a whole sun tea jug of it on your counter.
These are the types of things that drive me crazy. We're sitting at lunch in Hawaii, and we were talking to a very nice waitress that was there telling us about. She was making small talk with us. Where are you guys from? That kind of thing. And she had lived there for 20 years, right? She was originally from California, and she raised her kids there and all that thing.
Oh wow!
And
real crunchy.
When the lava flows happened in 2017, I believe. From may have been Kilauea or something, or another volcano. But when they actually were destroying property, going down the side of the mountain or whatever, that was only 3 years ago or whatever. I asked her, I was like, oh, like you went and did you go look at it? And she's like, no, never went over there to look at it. But
don't have time. Got to work the smoothie stand.
And I thought I was like,
it costs a lot of money to live in Hawaii.
I got kids, mother effer. I ain't time to go up there. I can't go up there and be looking at the lava.
It was 20 minutes down the road.
Nah,
like this,
no time.
The island is small.
No time to lava.
I ask you all the time about things. I'd be like, why don't you do that? You're like, I don't have time, man. I got no time.
No. If there was some natural phenomenon happening in Florida 20 minutes down the road, we drive further to see a shuttle launch.
Would you drive
Would
20
you go see
minutes?
A sinkhole?
How about Spook Hill, the car thing?
No, that's stupid.
Spook Hill is
This
our
is
lava flow. Spook Hill is our lava flow. It's all we got, man. It's Spook
stupid.
Hill.
No.
All we have is the hill that
dumb.
makes your car makes you think that your car is rolling uphill.
Can we do that next year for the Halloween special?
We can do that for the Halloween
Stupid.
special. I promised you 3 years ago, and I'm holding myself to the promise, and I'm sorry.
I was like, you didn't drive 20 minutes up the road to see lava flowing down a mountain?
So you were mad at her. Did you tell her that? Did
No.
you say, I'm disappointed in you?
I was just dumbfounded by the fact that she didn't even, like, you're not hours away or that's on a
Man,
flight.
you get jaded by paradise, right? You've been there for 20 years. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, but that doesn't happen that often. Like, the last time lava flowed down a mountain that you could see was
I understand
like
that. And if World Cup came to Orlando, guess who wouldn't go to the games? Me.
Well, that's different. It's been to Orlando, I guess, 30
In
years.
94.
What if it snows in Orlando?
I don't give a damn.
No, when you go,
I'm like this lady. I support this
come
lady.
on,
Normally, I'm
no.
more fun, but I support this lady.
It's there. It's not like it's only happening for a short window. Like when Artemis took off, right? It happened. It was 1 a.m. It was on the Tuesday. And Crystal wanted to go take the boys to watch it.
You didn't want to go though.
Yeah, I ain't going to that crap.
You are this lady.
No, I did want to go if it was convenient enough. Like, but 1 a.m. on a Tuesday, that was gonna be a bit too far to drag the. I'm like, where are we gonna leave at 11 o'clock at night? The kids got school tomorrow.
Right.
This is just slow lava that you could go see for like
too much work.
2 weeks. You can go anytime you want. Glowing at night, burning houses
What
up.
am I going to do? Stand there, smoke a cigarette? I can look at the cherry on my cigarette. Same thing.
Just drive by on your way home. It's 20 minutes. It wasn't.
All right. I'll drive by and I'll toot my horn at it.
From here to St. John's River. like imagine if lava
Too
was.
far.
I would love it if lava was flowing down the St. John's River. My God.
It's
that
right
means
there.
the world is ending.
No, I'm just saying, wouldn't you want to look at it and like the photos? Because I guess this is close enough to Kona where we were staying, and at night you could see this gigantic red glow from the damn volcano. It looks like the end of the world.
I'm going to sound like you, and I'm going to channel you when I ask this question. How long do you look at it? You're trying to sell something that you would normally hate. I think this is insane.
I'm gonna admit something. I looked at the lava, right?
Hold on, I feel like this is a revelation. Are you gonna take your pants off or something?
No, we walked up, and like the walk up to the lava, the glow.
I don't want to walk up the hill.
No, but that was cooler than like once we got there and we saw the lava, and then I was looking there.
That's it.
And then we're looking at it, looking at it,
LEDs.
and looking at it, and then I'm like,
much.
fantasy football.
Yeah.
Well, because how much do I have to look at it? I'm like, I'm seeing it. Yeah. I'm looking at it. I'm like, that's crazy.
I can watch National Geographic and see it.
Yeah. They got HD.
Quality.
Yeah, they got a red camera out there. They got HD.
It is
4K,
nuts
8K.
to see something that crazy in
Does
real
it
life.
smell like anything?
No, we're so far. They don't let you close. Like if this was the '60s, we'd be able to get up to. You could throw your coins in there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
let's melt some coins.
I think it actually gets super hot near. You know,
Yeah,
you start. You're like, oh, God, even 100 yards away, it's like the heat.
Undoubtedly, I do that every Christmas when my friend makes a fire. I get real close to it, and I'm like, God damn, I'm burning my face off. I don't know how to do it.
I don't know fire.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, where's that go?
Tuesday 4.
That's a good weird job, volcanologist. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Is that how it is? A volcano scientist? Is a volcanologist?
Something like that, I think. But I always assumed. Now they may have known this was going to erupt, and just that wasn't the story. It erupting was the story. Like locally, maybe they are like, oh yeah, this thing's gonna erupt any day now. Or is it as a fucking surprise and are people freaking out when
I mean, yeah.
remember the one they made a movie about the we should have looked at it.
The Pierce Brosnan movie, the volcano movie?
Or
Joe versus
Volcano?
Joe versus the volcano. That's Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
The last mega eruption in the United States was what was the name of that?
The last mega eruption in the United States was
Last night.
Monsters of Rock Tour. Megadeth with Metallica.
Remember they made a movie and the cloud, like the eruption cloud, like went down the side of the mountain and like leveled the forest.
I don't watch disaster movies. I only
Skyfire, Ashfall, Into the Inferno, Pompeii. I'm just naming.
Into the Inferno sounds familiar.
But what
Dante's Peak?
What
Dante's Peak.
What was the name of that volcano? It's
Mount St. Helens?
Mount St. Helens.
Is that the one you're thinking of?
Yeah.
That's our most famous, yeah.
So
look up Mount St. Helens movie.
And when did that happen? Was it the 70s?
It was literally just called St. Helens from 1981.
No, this movie is in the like 90s or 2000s. But when did Mount St. Helens erupt? Because that killed a bunch of people and that like leveled the side. You know, I don't think they knew that was.
Where is Mount St. Helens?
There's a Mount St. Helens Fury from 2000.
That's probably it.
Yeah. It's in Washington State.
Is it still spicy? Is it still a spicy volcano?
No, I don't. I think it's dormant now.
So it did its thing, and they were like, "Oh, it's dormant now." But can they come back to life? Isn't that what happens? So we really don't know anything. We're usually like, it's dormant. And then like, oh, crap, it's back to life.
Well, remember the volcano that caused a bunch of like ash literally around the globe?
Active.
Oh, still like
active stratovolcano.
There's one in Europe, remember?
In Skamania.
I remember the one you're talking about that started, and they were talking about the flights.
They had to divert flights
I
because
remember that.
The volcanic ash was getting in the goddamn turbines of the jets.
Where was that?
It says it is most likely to erupt again in our lifetimes.
Hell yeah.
But they don't know.
I'll tell you what.
57 people died.
Tom, I'll tell you what. If it erupts again, Mount St. Helens, go-to show. I'll tell you. We'll go.
I mean,
let's go see
if
the
there's
lava.
lava going, I'm going to go look at it.
You're going to go? You can fly there, and then you fly to Washington and get out, and you're going to go there fantasy football.
I mean, I'll look at it, but I don't need to look at it like half an hour.
Right,
like,
right.
You know,
Give
you
me
look,
a
you
5
see it,
minute.
you're like, all right.
That's let's talk about that for a second, because I get into that kind of thing with my wife. Like, she'll want to go see art or an installation or the Christmas lights at Lake Eola or something like that. What is the correct, and I figure if anybody can help me, you can help me. What is the correct amount of time to do that? Because I feel like she lingers too long, and I just want to kind of
get the gist.
I just want to get the gist and rip out of it. You know, like I want to see it and then get the hell out of there. But she likes to linger too long, and it makes me crazy. Even Maisie gets bored. We're around there kicking cans, and we're looking around, and we're like, are we leaving?
Yeah. You just need to get the gist of everything in life. Like, you don't need to see everything or be there too long. You're like, oh, I got it.
Were we recording?
No.
Okay, I didn't think we were.
Let's do Wednesday 3.
So we need 14.
All right. If you'll get emails, I'll get voicemails.
Yeah, I got some.
Let's start with emails. Bring us back, TC.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Check out all our merch at tomandan.com. We've got men's straw hats. We got kids straw hats.
Men's?
Men's and women's. Unisex straw hats.
I was like, I didn't realize you had to have
No, we should.
What happened when you say men's, it encompassed everything?
Yeah.
Right? Like, men's.
I don't.
I mean,
men
and women.
You just repeated the word as if that was gonna.
What if they're a they? What if it's a they, them, she, him, her, is?
It's all under men's.
Yeah.
You could say men's. It's like everything.
So you're going the radio station T-shirt model of everyone's a large.
Yeah.
Everyone. Actually, it's extra large. I feel like.
What?
First email.
Okay. To A Corporate Time. Tom, Dan, Sam, and whoever else might be listening.
No one is listening.
I took a morning walk to Private Park and came upon fragments of a messy bonfire created by teenagers. The evidence of it being teenagers were the following trash items left behind: cans of Four Loko and Twisted Tea, mini bottles of Fireball whiskey.
Hold on. Twisted Tea is pretty good. For Loco, I can't get on board, but I had a Twisted Tea at a party recently. Like a wedding, they had cheap beer and Twisted Tea, and I was like, I haven't had one of these. And I tried one, and I was delightfully surprised. I had the Twisted Tea. I was like, man, if they come and knock it, I'm not going to crap on it.
Iced tea and alcohol.
It tastes like real iced tea.
A bag of Funyuns.
Oh, hold on. I love Funyuns. Maybe I'm a teen.
Were you at this bonfire?
I love Funyuns, but I like the flaming hot Funyuns.
How do you feel about Starbucks lattes?
I'm not a Starbucks guy. I think our friend Jim Colbert, he's a big Starbucks guy. I can't do it. It's too bitter.
It's more than likely they won't come back to clean up their mess, and I will have to take care of it on my own for cleanliness sanity. Is it more likely that most teenagers are messy and don't care to clean up after having an outdoor party, or do most teenagers clean up after having an outdoor party and it's just a few teenagers that are leaving a big mess and leaving a bad impression for the rest of them? There are too many cleaners and helpers at the parties I attend.
When you're a teen, you don't care about anything but yourself and your current situation. You don't think about tomorrow. You don't think about the next day. You don't think of the ramifications of your actions. No. Like the mess, who's going to clean up the mess?
I was the nerd cleaning up at the parties.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't drink.
Yeah, you were good.
Yeah.
You're a good person.
Also, you're drinking underage, so you don't want to bring all the evidence with you, so then the cops are like, what's in that bag? A bunch of Twisted Tea cans? You just want to leave it where you're at and run.
I'm like Sam. If we had a house party, we didn't really do a lot of
crushing cans for everybody.
Yeah, I would at the end of the night, I wouldn't do it during, but I would always help clean up because I was always afraid we were going to get into trouble. And the only way to not get into trouble was to honestly clean everything up. So I was always dedicated to cleaning up.
My friends used to come over and like drink in my backyard and like drink quarts and I'll
let you come drink in my
beer.
Backyard if you let me watch you boof your girlfriend.
And then they'd always take all their trash because I didn't want my mom to figure it out or whatever. Like they couldn't throw it away in our trash, so they'd just go down. My neighbor had a bunch of woods in front of their house.
And they just dump it in the woods.
They just throw it just in the neighbor's woods. Right?
Yeah, there was a time when you could just throw it over the fence.
And and then once it was in the woods, you're like, well, it's gone forever.
Yeah.
It's never. No man will ever see this again.
No one owns the woods.
And so
God's woods.
And I always would rationalize it a little bit. I'd be like, probably helping out the animals, making a nest or something with that trash.
And then I remember, like, someone bought the house and then like cleaned up the front yard, and then must have found
Twisted Tea.
Back then they didn't have Twisted Tea. They had Old English quartz and Mad Dog 2020.
Bartles and James.
Mad Dog.
And then they put a no dumping sign. I remember we thought it was so funny, and that they actually like put a stick into the earth, the no dumping.
Did you guys
please.
do the next move, which is to still dump?
No, well, at that point,
because sometimes there are kids that are jerks and they're like, "I'll fix your no dumping sign."
Well, I remember yelling at my friends and like, "Why did you throw your trash in my next door neighbor's yard?" Because I didn't know that
you don't support that.
Well, they didn't tell me because I would have been like, "Just throw it in the dumpster."
The 7-Eleven,
the 7-Eleven.
100%.
But they're two lazy pieces of S.
There it is.
Just throw it in the woods. And then I thought to myself, well, I'd do that if I was over my buddies. I just throw it in their neighbor's
woods. You are willing to do more when.
Again, we're talking 15, 14 years old. Like, you are dumb teen. Like, once you get into college age and you have a party, I can understand cleaning up the house party mess because someone has to clean it up.
Man, but even then, I had some friends whose places looked like just straight up trash holes.
Yep.
Just garbage.
And even like their own
everywhere.
Friends would just trash their house, break stuff, food everywhere, and just leave.
Like just dropping food on the
and
ground.
I'm like, these people are not good people. These
like
are not your friends.
They live like dirtier than my dog's crate, you know?
I've seen people live in some disgusting, like especially in college age. And
I can't wait. We get to go to a real hoarder house tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Don't talk about it.
Am I not supposed to talk about it? Okay.
It's for a future show.
I know. We get to do
a Christmas special.
Yeah, we're doing a very special Christmas at a hoarder house.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Very hoarder Christmas. Very sad hoarder Christmas. Oh, man, I can't wait.
So, did you guys go out into the woods and drink?
No.
Not as a teen.
A little bit if there were parties. Most of the time, if we drank, it would be friend's house, parents out of town, hang out on like in the kitchen area or on the back patio.
Yeah.
Maybe once or twice if there was a keg party. We call them keg party or something. Somebody'd buy a keg. and then ice it down and then take it out into the woods, and then they build like a little fire, and then there was always in an area where we could park our cars or back them in so we could get the hell out of there if we needed to.
I remember they did a little bit of that in Miami in the Everglades, and they do these parties where they'd put on shows with generators and stuff.
I think that's cool.
And I believe it was called like Fat Farm. Those like
Hey.
Fat Farm
Brand?
parties. No, like that's what they called these, like this place where they would have generators.
PHAT?
Yeah, it had to have been that.
Mark
It was the
Echo
90s, so
presents Fat
for
Farm.
sure it was PHAT. But it was in the Everglades, and they would just like build a crude stage and use some generators.
And put some punk band on there.
Yeah, and then they would have everybody would just bring their own beer and
And
stuff,
just hang out.
and then they'd hang out and they wouldn't call the cops because there's nothing around. You know what I'm saying? Like. There was no neighbors to call the cops or
That's
anything.
cool.
But it was a drive out there. Like, to get out to the Everglades, it wasn't just, like, DeLand, there's woods all around.
Yeah.
There's no woods in Miami except for the Everglades.
But they weren't really
But it
cool
goes from
about
houses to Everglades.
I don't think you can do that now, man. I feel like, even though DeLand is still a small town, I think if you went into the adjacent woods anywhere around there that's somebody's property and you made a fire, they're going to see the smoke. And I feel like that type of, like, what do you call that? Hospitality or being cool? Like, I think it's gone.
Teens still go in the woods and drink, I'm sure.
I'm sure they do, but I just don't think it's the same. Like, I don't know.
Well, nothing's the same as
People are so uptight and litigious, and
also, there's no way to sneak around anymore. Like, your parents are looking at your location on your GPS and your phone, right? Every parent's doing that. So wherever you say you are, you have to be there.
Nah, just leave your phone somewhere.
Well, then if they call, what are you gonna do? Like,
Phone's dead.
No, that
here's
doesn't
what
fly
you
with my
gotta
wife. My boys are screwed because Crystal is gonna be looking at their. She does it to me.
Well, that's why you need to wear your Apple Watch. You leave your phone here at the studio. You have your Apple Watch for emergencies. It's got a cellular plan. It's not trackable. Then you wear your watch.
There's workarounds,
go to the
man.
party. You cheat on your wife, and then you come back
There's
and
also
scoop up
apps
your phone.
to like fake your location.
I'm just saying that it's less. Before it was like, hey, I'll call you at your friend's house or whatever. There's no way for anybody to know where you are, and now. You have to go through a bunch of stuff to hide your location, right? Like, so getting the app or whatever, like there's a string of lies before you're even able to go into the woods and drink without your parents knowing.
That's
right?
true. Yeah, I think you're right. Let's try this voicemail here.
Hey guys, so Dan, you brought up the electric unicyclers on the BDM show, and I got one that lives out here in Melbourne, and it must be the same guy because you describe him to a T. Black full face helmet, goggles, Kevlar vest, wrist guards, blaring music, and I mean, he is whipping down the sidewalk. 35 easy. All right, love you guys. Bye.
Yeah, love you too, buddy. Yeah, these guys, these unicycle boys. I'm gonna call them that from now on. The unicycle boys. They're out of control. I kind of like them, but also kind of hate them. I want to meet somebody who's really enthusiastic about it, and
We gotta flag that guy down that zips down here every day.
Yeah, I want to flag him down and get him in here, and I want to crap all over his favorite mode of transportation.
It's interesting because I noticed this when we went to Croom Forest and the safety equipment that people wear. That they have no idea what the purpose of it is, but they just think, oh, it must be safety equipment, so I'm going to wear it. But, like, for instance, like I saw a lot of kids, and I think parents see the motocross plastic chest protector, and they think that, that it was obviously to protect your chest from falling over or whatever. I need to buy this with it, but it's not. That chest protector is for rocks from the bike in front of you when you're on motocross races. When it kicks up rocks, and then it will shoot them backwards.
Right.
And the chest protector is to protect that from
beating you to death.
Slingshotting rocks into your chest. It has nothing to do with actually falling and stuff.
Right.
So unless you're in a motocross race where you don't need that. And in fact, it could actually harm you worse if you fell off because it will jab you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
it's also bulky, make it harder to turn. Sure.
And same thing with the electric unicycle. Like they're wearing basically a street bike helmet, right? And then all the pads and stuff. And I understand like a lot of that will protect you from road rash.
Yeah.
But if you get hit by a car, dead. No, like it's not going to protect your internal organs from going from 0 to 50 miles an hour or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to kill you in your brain or whatever. Like all this stuff will protect you from road rash, but not from an actual car strike. That you might as well wear nothing and be free because if a car hits you, you're done.
I think that these guys though, and I think the reason I'm aggravated with them, these electric unicycle dudes that blast the music and the lights and everything, it really has nothing to do with dumb old man, because I like the technology. I like how fast they're going. Hey man, no fear, right? I get it. YOLO. But what I don't like is that I feel like, and I have a problem with this, and me, I have a problem with this. I feel like they think they're getting one over on all of us by riding this thing like wherever they want, as fast as they want, with no one giving them any it's just like, hey, I'm allowed to do it. And for some reason, there's a part of my brain that makes me want to put a broomstick in front of them, park my car in front. No, you don't get to do that.
Why is it any different than the one wheel?
You're going way faster.
Some of these guys are literally doing 50 miles an hour.
It's unbelievably
fast. It's crazy fast.
I can't even understand how they go that fast. Comparatively to the one wheel, my one wheel will go.
It's not cool though.
Will go 11, maybe 12 miles an hour, and even the newer versions will maybe go 15.
My Ruckus will only do 50, and these guys are passing me on my scooter
faster than Daniel's scooter.
Blow
that's
fat
why
off
he's mad about it.
No, I'm just mad about it because I'm like, you think you're getting one over on us. The cops don't even know what these are. It's not registered. I'm having to pay money.
What are the
and you get to zip around
legalities on the street with
we got to shut these things down. If I can't do it and I got to pay money, you got to pay money.
I think you could ride them on the you could ride. It's funny because you could ride a lot of things on the street, including a horse. There's nothing illegal about riding a horse on the street. There's still old-timey laws that makes it legal for you, and cars have to give you the right of way if you're riding a horse. And so I think a lot of these laws are pedestrians, people riding bicycles, nothing has been updated for these electric personal devices.
We gotta shut these guys down.
Well, no, it's fine. It's just when's the tipping point? I guess when more and more people get these things, then you start having a problem.
I don't think more and more people will get them because they look real dumb. It's an aggressive look. Have you ever seen a guy that just rides one in a pair of shorts and a bike helmet? Yeah. If I saw that guy, I'd be like, all right, okay, I kind of see what you're doing here. It's a hobby. The guys I see, they look like they're full Kevlar, music blasting, black helmet, black Kevlar chest protector, black gloves with the knuckle grinder things on, the metal knuckle grinder things, like you're going to lay your knee down in a motocross race, black Kevlar pants, big buckle boots. And they're standing straight up like a soldier. They look like they're going to work. And when they get to work, they take that thing in. They take off their clothes. They put on a suit. That's what it looks like. And I'm like, we got to shut them down.
They're not wearing a suit at work. I will bet against that. All right. We'll see you in a minute.
2 and 2.
I could ride my scooter on I-4. I don't think there's anything shutting it down other than I wouldn't be able to keep up with the minimum speed limit. So... but my old scooter, the 250cc STSI from Vespa, that one would do 90.
Yeah,
that's fast as fuck.
As long as you can go minimum speed limit, you could ride on the highway with anything, I think. Yeah,
well, it's registered. My bike is registered to go anywhere I want.
Yeah, it has to be street legal. And then golf carts are only legal on roads 35 and under.
Where'd that go, Sam?
That is Wednesday 3.
But if you had a golf cart that could go 60,
I think they're coming.
Could you ride it on I-4?
They're going to start shutting those down because it's getting too far. They're going to have to put in to regulate. That's why
these guys a dune buggy. You could build your own dune buggy, make it street legal, and ride it anywhere on the goddamn turnpike.
Really, you would, Kupo J says, I would take those unicycle guys 1,000,000 times over bicyclists. I would say that for some bicyclists. A slow bicycle, though, is going to cause a lot less damage in my mind than some guy ripping through your neighborhood at 60 on a unicycle. But that's just me.
None of the bicyclists in Baldwin follow any of the damn rules.
None of them do.
They just fly
But
through
they're
stop
not
signs.
ours. I don't claim those because they pass through.
They're coming through.
Yeah, they're
but
passing through.
I'm like, you guys are going to get fucking killed.
It, you know, it's... I like it because it's you take your own life into your own hands, and
unfortunately, though, if you hit my daughter on that stupid thing with no regulation, then where's my recourse? Where's your insurance on that thing?
Yeah.
I know, if you hit me and break my leg, what the fuck am I doing?
If you hit someone going,
and I know it
40
happens
miles an
because
hour.
they're ripping too fast. I see how they drive those things, man. You know they've hit somebody before.
Maybe not. I mean, there's not that many of them. You know,
no, there's a pack. You'll see them at night. They roll through here, especially up on Lakemont.
They roll at night.
They roll through on Lakemont because they like to see their street glow on their bikes.
I've only seen them riding on the street, though, which is, to me, insanely dangerous. But then everybody, riding on the side of a busy street, whether it's a bicycle or just fucking walking, I'm always like, God damn, this is dangerous.
When people cross
no one's
big
paying
highways
attention
on foot, like not in a crosswalk, I'm like, you guys are fucking idiots.
Just checking.
Wednesday 3.
Well, that's different because I'll cross any highway or anything because I can control that.
No, you can't. You can control who's driving on that highway.
Well, I can see a car. I can look both ways, see the car, gauge how fast or how far they're away, and get across it, no problem. When you're walking down the street and cars are zooming past you, you're like, someone's just going to be looking at their phone
veer over.
and then clip me. Every time I get in my
I've
truck.
almost done it before, and that's why I stay off my phone. I had one close encounter where I was looking at my phone in the SUV because it's big, right? And I drifted over and I almost hit a cyclist. And that, I know everybody does it, but that was the day I stopped. I'm like, fuck that.
Every time I get into my truck, because we parallel park in front of the studio, I open the door and there'll be cars zooming past me, and I always think man, if one of them clips me,
I always wait. I always look in my mirror and I wait until they pass me to get out.
I do too.
No,
I don't trust anybody.
I open the door.
Everybody out here looking at their cell phones
and then
shit.
I count 3 Mississippis. I think, man, this will hurt if they
clip them ankles.
If they clip me, because I'll go straight into my own door.
Yeah.
And
I'll get you good.
Either kill me instantly or really, really, I'll never be the same. You know the thing, but there's no other option. It's like dead or I'll never be the same.
Holy shit. The top speed of one of these electric unicycles is 87 miles an hour.
That's crazy.
They jump them. They jump mountain bike jumps with
This
it.
is the one. See that one right there? That's the one that the dude rides, and there's a pack of these guys.
87 is
and they
insane.
fucking rip. They're doing 60 if they're doing anything down
Hold on,
Lakemont.
we need to find one. I want to ride one of these things.
I would like to ride one too, but I don't want to ride it at 80. I don't want to do that. I don't think I want to do that because if I fall down, it's going to hurt.
Well, don't fall.
That's not guaranteed. I fell on the electric skateboard and I almost killed myself.
I'll go 40 in sandals and shorts if someone brings me one.
No, this is you have to look at it. Just type in electric unicycle top speed and you'll see the one that I'm looking at. That's nuts. All right, what are we doing next?
Well, technically, we don't have to do anything. So
we do have a commercial we have to record.
Okay, and then I can finish up the go-to show and clear that. I can clear that SD card for tomorrow. Want to work on that?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
All right, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We appreciate it.
See